Hi, this is Steve. Let's take a look at multi-currency setup in Dynamics GP. It's really pretty easy to do. There's a few steps. We'll look at the currency access. This determines which companies get to use which foreign currency in your system. We'll look at the functional currency, and then we'll look at transaction rate types that the system needs to record multi-currency transactions. So let's take a look at it. So let's go to the administration area page, and under setup, we'll look at the system and then multi-currency access. Let's open up that screen. And here you can see I've got all my currencies that are in my system. And if I select US dollar, you can see that I've got the Fabricam company has access to that. So one of the things that you have to do is when you set up a new company, make sure that you assign foreign currencies or domestic currencies to that company so you'll have access to those currencies. So that's the first thing that you need to do. The next thing we will want to do is set up a functional currency for each company. So to do that, we go into the financial area page for a particular company, and we'll go to the setup option here and hit multi-currency. This brings up this screen here, and you're going to want to make sure that you've got a functional currency identified here. You can see it's a required field on my system, and it will be on yours as well. You can also set up a different reporting currency if you want to, but typically in the United States it's going to be the same currency. So set up your functional currency here, and then make sure that you get a reporting currency as well, and that will make your life in GP much easier. So the next thing I want to do is set up rate types. Rate types combine an exchange table with a type of transaction that you're going to transact within Dynamics GP. So I'm looking at a company whose functional currency is the US dollar, and I may have rate types set up for different types of currencies. So let's take a look at it. Here I've got exchange tables in my system, and let's look up one for the Canadian dollar here. And you can see I've got 3 associated with the Canadian dollar. If I'm buying the Canadian dollar, I'm selling it, or an average, I'm going to use this exchange table, which then I can assign to a particular rate type and a particular type of transaction. So for example, if I opened up the Canadian average exchange table, I can see that I've associated that with a rate type called average. And the average rate type is going to be used in a transaction, for example, in accounts payable. When I enter an accounts payable transaction, I'm going to assign it the rate type of average, and then it's going to link back to this exchange table and use the proper exchange rate between the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. This has been a quick look at the multi-currency setup in Dynamics GP. The first thing you want to do is assign foreign currencies to your company. You do that by looking at the currency access window in your system. The next thing you want to do is define a functional currency for your company. That's going to be the main currency that you use in transactions and reporting. And the next thing you want to do is set up transaction rate types so that when you post transactions with different foreign currencies, it will use the correct exchange tables that you've set up.